The twisted silver McLaren looked like nothing more than a broken dream sitting beneath the harsh lights of the repair shop. Mechanics walked past it, shaking their heads. Insurance inspectors had already labeled it a financial disaster. Experienced technicians whispered that repairing it would take at least 6 months, if it could even be saved at all. Everyone saw a wrecked supercar worth abandoning. Only one man saw something completely different. He saw the promise he had made to his little daughter, that no matter how impossible life looked, giving up would never be an option. Before we continue this emotional journey, please take a moment to like this video, leave a comment, share it with someone who believes in kindness and second chances, and subscribe to Kindness Corner. Every small act of support helps stories like this reach people who need hope the most. Ethan Brooks was 38 years old, a quiet mechanic whose hands carried years of scars earned through honest work. 5 years earlier, life had been almost perfect. He owned a small repair garage, his wife smiled through every difficult season, and their young daughter Lily believed her father could fix absolutely anything. Then illness stole his wife far too soon, leaving Ethan to raise Lily alone while trying to keep his struggling garage alive. Every day became a balancing act between paying bills, packing school lunches, and pretending that everything would somehow be okay. There were nights when he sat alone after Lily had fallen asleep, staring at unpaid invoices and wondering how much longer they could survive. One rainy afternoon, a damaged silver McLaren rolled into the shop on the back of a recovery truck. Its front end had been crushed in a highway accident. Suspension components were bent beyond recognition. Electronic systems flashed endless warning lights. Even experienced technicians from larger dealerships had refused the project. The owner, a wealthy businessman named Victor Langford, had already heard the same sentence from nearly every expert. 6 months. Maybe longer. Possibly never. Victor barely looked at Ethan when he explained the situation. He expected another polite refusal. Instead, Ethan slowly walked around the car, studying every damaged panel, every cracked bracket, every broken connection. While everyone else saw destruction, Ethan imagined every piece returning to its rightful place. He had rebuilt impossible machines before. He simply needed time, patience, and determination. Victor laughed politely when Ethan said he wanted to try. He wasn't mocking him personally. He simply couldn't understand how a small-town mechanic could accomplish what certified specialists believed impossible. Still, Ethan accepted the challenge. The following weeks tested him in ways he had never imagined. Original replacement parts were delayed. Specialized tools had to be borrowed or fabricated. Every repair uncovered another hidden problem beneath the damaged bodywork. More than once, even Ethan questioned whether everyone else had been right. Each evening Lily would sit quietly in the garage after finishing her homework. She would hand her father clean tools, organize bolts into tiny containers, or simply watch him work beneath bright workshop lights. Sometimes she noticed the exhaustion in his eyes before he admitted it himself. Instead of asking whether he would succeed, she reminded him of something he had once told her after she struggled to learn riding a bicycle. Difficult things simply take longer. That simple sentence became the heartbeat of the entire repair. Word slowly spread throughout the local automotive community. Some people admired Ethan's courage. Others quietly waited for him to fail. Several mechanics visited only to shake their heads before leaving again. Online forums even joked that the little garage was chasing an impossible fantasy. But Ethan ignored every opinion except one. Every morning Lily hugged him before school and said she believed in him. That single vote of confidence outweighed hundreds of voices filled with doubt. Months passed. Every damaged frame measurement was corrected with incredible precision. Wiring harnesses were repaired one connector at a time. Carbon fiber panels were carefully restored instead of replaced whenever possible. The process demanded thousands of tiny decisions, each one requiring patience instead of shortcuts. Money became another obstacle. The repair consumed nearly every spare dollar Ethan earned. Several customers delayed paying their bills, forcing him to work longer hours simply to keep electricity flowing through the garage. Some nights' dinner consisted of little more than soup and bread. Yet Lily never complained. She understood more than most children her age. She often slipped handwritten notes into her father's toolbox saying, "Heroes don't quit." One evening, after nearly 4 exhausting months, disaster struck again. During a systems diagnostic, a hidden electrical fault caused several expensive control modules to fail. Ethan stared silently at the dashboard filled with warning lights. Weeks of progress suddenly felt meaningless. For the first time, he locked the garage early and sat alone outside beneath the stars, wondering if he had finally reached the end. Lily found him there holding 2 cups of hot chocolate. She quietly placed one beside him without saying much. Sometimes love speaks loudest through simple presence. After several silent minutes, Ethan stood up, wiped away his frustration, and walked back into the garage. Tomorrow would be another chance. The breakthrough came unexpectedly. Instead of replacing the failed system exactly as manufacturers recommended, Ethan carefully traced every electrical pathway himself. After nearly 12 hours of testing, he discovered a microscopic fracture hidden inside a connector that every previous inspection had overlooked. Fixing that single fault restored nearly every electronic system throughout the vehicle. For the first time since arriving at the shop, the McLaren came alive. Its engine started smoothly, filling the garage with a deep mechanical heartbeat that echoed off the walls. Ethan closed his eyes for just a moment. Months of sacrifice had finally produced something that sounded like hope. The final stage involved countless inspections, road testing, and precision adjustments. Ethan refused to rush simply because expectations had changed. If the car carried his name, it would leave the garage safer and stronger than anyone expected. Exactly 5 months after the damaged McLaren first arrived, Victor returned expecting only another progress report. Instead, he found the silver supercar parked outside beneath bright morning sunlight. Its body reflected the sky as though the accident had never happened. Every panel aligned perfectly. Every electronic feature operated flawlessly. The engine purred with remarkable confidence. Victor stood speechless. Independent inspectors spent hours examining every repair. They measured structural tolerances, evaluated safety systems, and conducted extensive road tests. Their conclusion surprised everyone. The vehicle had not merely been repaired. It had been restored to an extraordinary standard. News traveled quickly. Automotive magazines featured the incredible restoration. Other repair specialists admitted they had underestimated what determination could accomplish. Customers began arriving from neighboring cities, not because Ethan advertised, but because people trusted someone who refused to quit when everyone else had. The greatest reward, however, wasn't the recognition. A few weeks later, Victor quietly returned to the garage carrying a small envelope. Inside was a check far larger than the agreed repair cost and a handwritten note thanking Ethan for restoring more than a car. He had restored faith that craftsmanship, honesty, and perseverance still existed. Ethan used part of the money to expand his struggling garage, but the first thing he bought was something much smaller, a simple bicycle Lily had admired for months. When Lily rode that bicycle through the neighborhood with laughter echoing behind her, Ethan realized the McLaren had never been the real miracle. The real miracle was proving to his daughter that impossible situations do not define our future. Our choices do. If this story has touched your heart so far, please like this video, share it with your friends and family, and subscribe to Kindness Corner. Your support allows more inspiring stories of hope, resilience, and compassion to reach people around the world. Special request: before this story ends, please leave a comment answering this question: what is one challenge in your life that you refuse to give up on? Your words may encourage someone else who desperately needs hope today. Long after the headlines faded and the repaired McLaren disappeared down distant highways, the small repair shop remained exactly where it had always been. Every morning Ethan unlocked the same worn garage door, greeted the same loyal customers, and smiled as Lily left for school believing her father could fix almost anything. And perhaps she was right. He hadn't just repaired a damaged supercar. He had repaired broken confidence, restored fading hope, and reminded everyone who heard his story that true strength is not measured by talent, money, or recognition. It is measured by the courage to keep going when the entire world believes you should stop. Sometimes the greatest miracles are not built from perfect beginnings but from ordinary people who simply refuse to give up.